Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, riveting, and amazing Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only Master Propaganda, off here to 2v2 again on Elst Outskirts. And off for this Crossfire, here comes the Blob, finding up with a combined Allied British-American task force once more. We got the 11th Armored Division backed up here by the 19th Infantry Division with Commando, Vanguard, and Special Weapons, Heavy Cavalry, Airborne, and Recon support. In the south, it is Baechiv and DevM fighting for the German Army Deutschland. Here forming up with the 2nd Panzer Division, 3rd and 7th Panzer Grenadier Companies, with Ground Offensive, Luftwaffe Ground Forces, Overwatch, Festering Armor, Lightning War, and Close Air Support. We got a Grenadier before two ability for DevM, Baechiv with the Volkswagen Kugelwagen, top right from there for Mr. Here comes the Blob, and triple section there for Crossfire, setting out there for King and Country. Big thanks to me for donating and supporting the Propagandacast for this hard-earned money. You too can join this illustrious, example there and donate yourself via PayPal or pledge on Patreon and support the many wonderful people who support me there. Links are in the video description. Also, comment, like, share, subscribe, press the bell button. Gonna do before doing northwards there, a small task force there with the pioneers screening up the right flank, grabbing points there. Baechiv defending and fortifying the car point here against any allied incursions, as on Elst Outskirts. People definitely like to do that. First shots fired. Here's the Grenadiers moving up in before two. DevM launching assault section here. Caught out of position. Lewis immediately drops there. As the Grenadiers backed up, a heavy machine gun team quickly overwhelmed the position. A tactically fortuitous assault team for DevM that already risked wrong footing. Crossfires early game in the southwest here. Baechiv laying on barbed wire as here comes the Blob moves in. 4th section of Crossfire is committed here to Commandos with Commando glider insertions, smoke raid operations, assault, mortar cover, and air supremacy operation. MD4 sitting up, PMC section about there up north. We got the parties telling moving in there. Sniper for DevM here. Many players like to go for snipers against the British because, again, the British are, well, rather tough to deal with in certain circumstances. Going for snipers alleviates a lot of those issues, plus the British in general just a bit weak in that sense. So, fairly understandable choice here for DevM. Kugelwagen supporting here. I want to fix it up there. Grab the western victory point, heading for the car point, which Baechiv left unguarded. Here comes the Blob, sensing it and goes straight for it. Meanwhile, though, Baechiv returns the favour to Crossfire's car point here as DevM moves in and pushing here. Good teamwork, as you might notice, between DevM and Baechiv, sniping in there with a scope to give air 43, though typically most German snipers prefer either a K9 TK if they get their hands on it, he's scoped most elegant. Fun fact. Second Grenadier squad there for DevM. Section up to recapture the carve point here. Pioneers are being bled to the very ends here by the British infantry. I imagine Crossfire's going to go for some upgrades for those sections. Bren guns would be sort of the typical. Or something just boats, which is obviously the common one, would be really good there, but both would be amazing. We shall see though. Sturm Pioneer raisins are going for the carve point. Here comes the Blob, digging in hard around it, though no commander yet to really fully exploit it. We got here the Sturm Pioneer holding about there, trotting away for Baechiv. DevM meanwhile there roaming about with a sniper, 2 kills to his name so far, Graham Northern Fuel. And we got the truck out there for Baechiv, the Schwerer Wehrmacht Schlepper. North Thick Grenadiers, Graham Northern Fuel point here, Germans off to a nice disruptive start here versus the Allies. Of course, the Allies would not consider this remotely nice at all. Quickly moving his forces towards the centre west here, looking to swing the game and assist his teammate there. Good read tactically of the situation here by DevM. Really solid play here. And also to help that way negate Crossfire. Here comes the Blob, gang up and Baechiv. This is a really strong skill to have, just being able to read when your opponent's about to get ganged up and then reacting in time there. So incredibly well played here by DevM. Pretty much just ruins the entire day there for Crossfire, at least for now. We got there the ambulance all the way there for here comes the Blob. He's gone for 4 rifle squads, by the way. That is quite impressive. Most players would just go for the lieutenant or the captain. And in 2v2s, typically the captain before that. But yeah, Fulton's bring in here. Germans so far off to a fairly good start here versus the Americans for now. Fulton's going in there for Baechiv. Catching that one here with some well-placed rifle fire there. The M1 Garand's tearing into the Fultons with only their K9 TKs. Bolt action versus semi-automatic. The folks there very quickly pulling out there. Also worth noting, Baechiv's lost a Sturm Pioneer squad, so Baechiv's definitely going to require perhaps a bit of support depending how hard the Allies keep going for them. Crossfire meanwhile though, swinging northwards there, exploiting a gap there in the northern lines. As DevM of course is looking to support his teammate very wisely though. Crossfire cleverly exploits this. Also my apologies, I got a bit of a sore throat there. 2-2 on the way there for DevM. Not a lot of infantry for DevM, was a bit risky in my opinion. We also continue to be with Crossfire as the only player with the commander. We'll have to see what he goes for. I mean, none of his commander or really support having that much infantry, so it's a bit tougher to say there. Like, theoretically heavy cavalry with like the smoke and, you know, combined arms and rifle and field defenses is probably like the best pick for it though. Ground northern fuel here, got the southern fuel, so the Germans actually being cut off the fuel by the Allies. Good work there. We'll have to see a demo reaction. That he's moving in the armoured car here to support the teammate, at the same time intending his position around the centre, but again, crucially he's not getting a lot of fuel, so if the Allies can you get their hands on the fuel and lock it down, they could possibly like pull ahead of the Allies or the Germans fast. Weapon max, grenades as well for Herecomestheblob. I mean, he's definitely looking to leverage all of these riflemen in a fairly aggressive manner. Crossfire this got the armoured car, the AC Mach-3, and there we go. DevM again using the centre hit the cuff point there. Sneaky there by DevM. Making the best of an otherwise slightly rubbish situation. We've also got a fresh Grenadier squad for DevM. Worth noting though, none of the Grenadiers have yet to be equipped with a light machine gun. I wonder if this is an oversight, or if there's some sort of like deeper meaning to it from DevM. Armor car charging there, go full route here as the armor car just threatens completely like just mess with them. We got some sappers there moving about for Crossfire. Can soon begin considering calling in the Commandos. He may in fact just be doing that. No sign of any further upgrades though. The AC's joining in the south here. We got a big push held by Baechiv. We got the full squad with the assault rifles and a mechanized retinue here for Baechiv. I mean, this match is definitely getting interesting. And we got the first weapons being handled as actually bazookas here for Herecomestheblob to help deal with the armored cars. Going to with the AC, and there we go. Panzerfaust off. In the actual war though, that armored car would probably be toast from the Panzerfaust. But again, balancing the Panzerfaust with reality is going to be a next to impossible task. As another fun fact about the Panzerfaust, due to the way the warhead was shaped, it actually did an incredible amount of damage upon impact compared to like other anti-tank weapons, even like stuff like the Panzerfaust bazooka. Oh wow, that was a hell of a grenade there from Herecomestheblob, and Baechiv was not ready for it. Full squad annihilated, got the Puma on the way there. Baechiv is definitely like taking the worst of the beatings here. Meanwhile, DevM's just basically acting like the fire brigade, like rushing to deal with all the various hot spots, and Crossfire's like, you know, the fire being put out constantly. Like any good German. Always raining on the Brits. And he's got flips with the rifle squad there. Bars are playing as well for Herecomestheblob. Definitely making things tougher there for Baechiv's infantry. Baechiv there with Luftwaffe ground force squads featuring heavy fortifications, smoke bombs, Fallschirmjäger, Banging Assault, and the airborne assault. Armor coming to assist here. Stuart Lighting with the Herecomestheblob in the centre, crossing forward. All sections of the corp before two, definitely not a particularly well executed attack there by Crossfire, but there you go. Commandos inbound, a full glider there. Gliding through the skies, and heavy cavalry here for Herecomestheblob with rifle into defensive structures, smoke barrages, rangers, combined arms, and the M26 Pershing heavy tank. Armor car then move again. Not the most aggressive commando landing, possibly indicating he would tend to go for more commandos. Where the commandos there with their silenced end guns will be quite nasty. Fallschirmjägers inbound for Baechiv with their FT-42s. So where the commandos headed here for Crossfire so far? Nowhere. South, you've got to push forwards there. Grenade, hope to bait them into it, but Baechiv doesn't take to bait. In fact, looks like Baechiv's not paying attention at all, and the Fallschirmjägers get executed. Baechiv there is taking an absolute bashing here from Herecomestheblob. An absolute beating, but there he goes. Do it straight ahead into the shooting mina. Engine blown, transmission damaged. Candy rack ruined. Sturm PNMS advancing Ralph squad there. Others moving forward. Say Puma. Kubag need to get out of there. Crossfire starting to get the move on again, but Crossfire's definitely on it so far. Is not making the biggest of impacts. I mean, DevM's doing a really good job there. against Crossfire in that sense. Crossfire, I think, definitely needs to, like, consider his tactical approach overall, like, need to leverage his forces a bit more smartly soon. But there you go. Commandos there slowly creeping out there with their silenced end guns, which were, in fact, really silent due to the way they've been basically modified by armorers, so that way they barely made any sound at all. Which is, you know, kind of neat. So creeping up behind here, the Gunners could be in trouble. Got some light missiles at F4, DevM's Grenadiers. We've got more fighting moves for Baechiv, and there you go. I think there's about the light gun bomb up to pop in the Grenadiers here, and DevM's not paying attention will definitely feel the brunt of that. And there we go, beautiful wipe there on DevM's Grenadiers. Or horrible if you're, you know, from a German perspective. Oh, we even got S-mines from them. Really good money there, 6 moving forwards here. The engage from both sides, pinned down there. Season northern point here, we got 409 versus 500. Section pushed back here. AC is being sent out again. Troops reinforcing here in the southeast. Stuart versus the Puma and infantry, of course, supporting here. Could rescue the Stuart here, I think. Doing his best for smoke though. Also, Devon at this point has yet to choose a commander. I need to be careful around their own S-mine field. They could actually risk the S-mines being set off under them, which could definitely be painful there for DevM. Northern field machines for the Commandos. Crossfire's already floating a lot of manpower. I feel like you should consider like some support weapons or more commanders at least. Mortar plates could also be a consideration here, but I feel like definitely already at this point Crossfire should not be floating that much manpower. North, the commandos being engaged with the armoured car. Is he going for some upgrades? None. Here comes the blob. Also, by the way, he's gone for Rangers. Thumbs up to that. Should at the Thompsons, but you know, tricky at Elst Outskirts is like you can take this path here to sneak up on the fuel point from that angle, also typically catching any defenders off guard. So I think it would be a smart maneuver there to consider for Here Comes the Blob. And similarly, though, a German player, or Southern player, could sneak up for here to get behind the other player's front line there. It's again one of those not particularly often considered flank paths, but I do find it to be an excellent one. Sadly, it's not quite the same here because for some reason there's like, you know, the edge of the map and the bridge that goes to nowhere. Effectively, it's like, wow, that's not quite as nice now, is it? More Gunners for DevM to replace the ones got completely blasted by the Commandos. Section 40. Mortar placement there for Crossfire, very good. And a 6-pounder gun. Whoops, sniper added here though. 17 kills. We got more mines here from DevM, very good there. Thorough mining. And certainly one of the most powerful things a our player can do is actually just lay down mines in the right places, because again, while their mines are specialized, they're also typically some of the best mines, with the Teller mines being great versus light vehicles and medium armor, and the S mines can also be really great at just denying any territory. So while they definitely require a bit more understanding of how to use mines, Wehrmacht mines in the hands of a smart player are really powerful. The rifle squads, no cover here utilised by Herecomestheblob, but still back to both fuel points here for the Allied players for the German. Double grenade here. Wow, Baechiv they're forced to retreat here once more. No further sign of tech. We've got double Fallschirmjägers. Baechiv clearly a believer here in the Green Devils. Mortar bring down death in the machine gun position by the house. Jürgen, I think the roof is leaking. Heinz, the roof is falling apart. It's not just leaking, the bridge are caving it in. So damn bad teeth bastards. Armored car there, 4 kills, halfway to it. We got the Pack 40 Gunners moving in there. Mortar emplacement still at it for the British Empire. Back at troop reinforcing healing. Troop reinforcing healing there. There you go. Here comes the Blob, just charging forwards, living up to his namesake. He won't be sued for false advertising. That's for sure. At least not in Denmark. Gunners going for the AC Mark III. Gonna Panzerfaust it. And straight into the S-mine field. Again, the S-mine here. Again, being a great investment there for DevM. Mostly anyways. Looks like some of them were a bit faulty. I thought you meant sock mines. We have sock mines? Yeah. Who the hell makes sock mines? Göring? Oh my god, I should have known. There we go though. Reason's wiped the rifle from taking heavy loss from the S-mines. Again, just amazing investment with them. That's it. Even with that though, the German front line here for the 2nd Panzer Division has been completely collapsed in most places. Only DevM is maintaining some kind of front line in the north. That said, we got troops bravely pushing ahead. We got valiant assault for Baechiv, 2 thumbs up. Easily again one of those favourite abilities of mine that's so overlooked criminally. and which Crossfire has access to as well with Assault. We'll have to see if they make use of that, but again, with Commandos and a lot of sections, and particularly if he to upgrade them, that can be really powerful. I mean, he's got lots of munitions, so I'm surprised we're not seeing any grenades or Bren guns. Hell, he's even like bolstering them. No. So, I mean, you know, there's easier stuff that I think Crossfire could be doing with all these resources he's got, but so far Crossfire is not utilising. I definitely feel like that's a big mistake there by Crossfire. That's a big one. Like, just why go for all these sections if you're not going to upgrade them well with Bren guns or grenades or both? Like, you know, remember to use some Assault because, again, abilities like these, when well timed, are really powerful, can really make some strong pushes that can completely blow your opponent out of the water, particularly when combined with the Commandos, which could also be upgraded with Bren guns. Because everything in the British Army can get Bren guns. In fact, I'm fairly certain that is the British Army motto. Bren guns. It goes on everything. Except the T. Sniper, they're at it with 21 kills. Veteran 2. Mortar fire raining down death here in the south. Here, got pushed forwards here. Fox has been flanked with the Rangers and the Rifle Squad. Tanks with their Thompson submachine guns. I'm absolutely shredding them there. We could actually see wipe here. The Thompsons are really good at that, by the way. But there you go. Fighterman's launching counter-attack. We can see the range go down here. Possibly we've got Rifle Squad at the bars. And of course, threatening with grenades as well there. There are no grenades yet here for Herecomestheblob. Crossfire up north here, struggling with DevM, who as always is a furious attacker and of course a devious attacker. Mortar fire raining down there. Sneak up in the northern fuel point with 2 sections. Apparently Crossfire forgot about them and still no upgrades. I'm kind of starting to get a bit amazed at Crossfire's complete lack of any upgrades there. It's just a bit strange to go for that much infantry and just, you know, nothing more. Might be like a them I play going for full gun escorts and just never upgrade them either. That'd be a lot of raised eyebrows. Mortar firing down death here. We got Baechiv 2, which opens up. Ooh, smoke barrage. Thumbs up to Crossfire using that at least, but you know. There's so much more he could be using as well. Meanwhile, DevM has rushed straight for the Panzer. It's just been caught up in the front line. He just missed that entirely. Baechiv's yet to take up there. Meanwhile, though, still at the current situation, I mean, the charged jump Panzer is quite risky, but at the same time, it's one of those risks that, you know, could pay off. Taking the opponents aren't quite ready for it. It's worth noting, like, the American player has nothing in anti-tank guns. The British got like a 6-pounder gun, so the Sturmpanzer right now is actually looking quite favourably for DevM. So I mean, that's actually like not bad at all. By the way, DevM is at this point the only player without commanding, because things rush for the Sturmpanzer. I'm guessing Festung Armor is not on it, so it's probably Lightning War. Close air support, I think he would go for as well at this point. So most likely Lightning War, though. I imagine a lot of players would be excited to see close air support being used. But it's likely Lightning War here. Mortar getting hit, fire in the MD-42. In the south here we got Baechiv there with a significant force attack here. 5 makers backed up machine guns, folks there, and of course the mighty Puma heavy armored car. Rifle Squad found the Cavalry vanishing before their eyes. I feel like this could be, you know, slightly shifted about this position in particular. He could also benefit a bit from a mortar. We'll have to see what he goes for next, but apparently wouldn't be surprised if we try to stall for the Pershing here, in particular with them having control of 2 fuel pods for now. Crossfire, meanwhile, is going straight for the Comet, so there's definitely, I think, an emphasis on both sides in just going for the big stuff. Like, they're basically skipping, like, the medium tanks that aren't premiums, which is definitely noteworthy there. Not be surprised if Baechiv's also going to try and pushing for something like the Panther at this rate. Gunners for the section there, sniping at it. We got 26 kills, half H53. Pioneers and MD-42 more here for DevM. Very sensible there to ensure that they're enough to repair his Sturmpanzer 4 efficiently. Thumbs up to DevM there. Van Hunt coming out on the 50 cal there. Hey, did someone cook bacon? No, that's you, Carl. Oh, that's the second time that's happened. Second time? Yeah, there was that one time in college. I don't want to hear about it. But still, good pushing the car point there. They're definitely feeling like, you know, that's going to be a Pershing, Comet, and then I'm guessing Baechiv Panther wants to get the truck up, and DevM, well, I don't know. It's going to be a bit of a, you know, a bit of a battle here. But still, good pushing the car point there. They're definitely feeling like, you know, that's going to be a Pershing, Comet, and then I'm guessing Baechiv Panther wants to get the truck up, and DevM, well, I'm not entirely sure what the plan is, but at this point I wouldn't be surprised if the Panther.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Heading northwards for the MG42, another pack 40 for DevM. Sturmpanzer rushing out here. We got another valiant assault from Baechiv. Sturmpanzer running hit with 150 in the gun, blasting away at the sections there. Sniper getting off some kits in the section there as well. Got the infantry to the advancing route squad, fighting in again, backed up by valiant assault, but even that heroic effort is kind of for naught when they're on their own. They're surrounded by a lot of Americans with a lot of BARs. But there you go, second fighter squad arriving, but almost blows apart the fighter makers. Doesn't matter. The Americans killed it. So, not the best maneuver there by Baechiv, unfortunately. I'm north, the Sturmpanzer pulling ahead here, and we can just see there, Crossfire is definitely caught in the crossfire here of DevM's assault weapons. Need to get that Commandant now, or a Firefly, and to take it off the Sturmpanzer, damaging the engine. Good hit there. Comet on the way there. Still, though, floating an immense amount of munitions. And like, they can just like use mortar cover, which is actually a really good ability. I also think it's one of the more interesting design abilities they got in terms of artillery call-ins, but so far, there's just nothing there from Crossfire. Like, he's just floating a lot of munitions, like he's planning to retire after the war. On the Cayman Islands, with, you know, a lot of munitions. Stewart finally knocked out here. Cohwagen seemingly supporting DevM more than supporting Baechiv. Comet almost done. Here comes the blob close to his Pershing heavy tank. And Baechiv's finding out that truck up. Can authorize it. And then actually pull for the Panther more or less almost as soon as that's done. Almost. But Crossfire and DevM is definitely like, you know, looking a lot less fluid compared to like, you know, here comes the blob and Baechiv, like, it's a lot more back and forth, but up north Crossfire is definitely striking. Again, I think part of the issue is just Crossfire, for whatever reasons, actually refuse to use that munitions. I am not sure why. Like, there's assault, there's mortar cover, there's even smoke radar bridge. There's so many abilities that Crossfire could be utilizing, and there's still just upgrading with grenades, like weapon ranks. There's nothing there for Crossfire. I'm absolutely baffled at that. There you go. Baechiv there will probably go full for the Panther soon. Here comes the blob. Is moments away there from the Pershing heavy tank. Smokes there from the Comet. Very good. And DevM, well, I mean, he could still go for Festing Armor just to go for the Panther 4 Model J. I mean, that wouldn't be bad at all. But something tells me, you know, the way the rest of this match is going, he's going to go for the Panther, because everyone again seems like they're pulling either for the premium mediums or the big things. Get it from the Comet there, punch straight through the armored car. South here, good push here, but here comes the blob, who is definitely not floating munitions at all. He still obviously got a little reserve there, but you know, he's not floating close to 500 munitions. There we go, Pershing heavy tank out, here comes the blob. Would after the war battle be downgraded to a medium tank, and they charge up going to the M48 pattern, but they kind of gave up, I think, halfway through. Commandos leaning forwards. Straight into the Sturmpanzer. That is definitely not where you want to be ending up as a commando squad. Mortar in place while still added. Could remember to use the heavy high closer barrage, which is really good. That's basically like 2 heavy mortars of the third kind just bombarding any position, which is very uncomfortable to be on the receiving end of, I can assure you. 318 is 444, or 441. Pershing force catching the Sturm Puny out in the open. Steady push here. Cohwagen mentioned 2 with 3 kills. Almost got the Sturm Puny here. Would be a nice kill there for the Americans. There we go. Wiped. Bit of blow there and there. Go Baechiv with the Panther. The Panzerkampfwagen 5. And again, the way DevM's looking, he's probably going to go for one as well. But he could technically go for Lightning one of Tiger Tank at this point. Which wouldn't be, I suppose, bad either. Comet got the armored car. He's got 500 munitions now. Is he planning to use air supremacy operation a lot, maybe? I mean, in the right place, it could definitely force them to fall back. Maybe they could use it to take out the Schwerpanzer quarters. But so far there seems to be like no real clear indications to where all of Crossfire's munitions is going for, except again like some sort of like, you know, extra national slash fund for his own retirement. Another bounty assault for Baechiv, excellent. Quickly launching a counter-attack key to assist in the centre. Panther there. Definitely in trouble. Got the Comet, got the Parachute going for the anti-check. Rifle grenades going off. There's one couple grenade on these bunch of infantry, and there we go. Finally! Crossfire apparently is caught up to someone who's asking what the hell he's doing with all the munitions, down to use it here. And there you go, mortar cover catching the German troops. They know mixture of white phosphor and regular mortar fire here. Completely disrupting here. DevM and Baechiv almost taking out the fights of the sniper too as well. That the pack crews are definitely being traumatized alongside all the infantry. Panther is on over DevM, who has gone for lightning war, hit the 25-minute mark here with Jaeger light infantry upgrades, tactical movement, relief infantry, Tiger tanks, and the Stuart close air support. Of course, worth noting, white phosphorus in reality is a lot nastier than what they show here in the game. Though again, if they showed how nasty it was, you know, a lot fewer people probably playing the game because they'd be traumatized. Machine in there, Commandos going to need a smoke grenade. There you go. Still, not a lot of munitions usage here by Crossfire, but at least again, he's starting to use it. So there you go, that's 2 Panthers out in the field now for the Germans. Stukas for Baechiv. Stukas were typically part of a Panzer Division's Panzer Pioneer Battalion or Regiment. Interestingly enough, they was actually part of the unit's heavy company, which was sort of a small unit providing artillery support for the Panzer Pioneers. So, a little fun fact there about the Stukas. Got the Pershing we had here for Herecomestheblob. Sneaking up on the southern point here. Here comes the Blob. She did start pulling in some support for the Pershing and Crossfire. Imagine he's just going to go for another Comet, but again, he's floating an incredibly intense amount of munitions. Got another mortar cover ability ready here, and of course, does have that air supremacy operation. Could call in the Shrap Hunt. Of course, I imagine that's going to be like the target here for it. Yup, air supremacy operation, calling in the RAF, and Bomber Harriers there to level the entire place. Alright lads, I want you to see this place flattened like it's a German city filled with nice lovely civilians. Just being murdered here, Baechiv once more on the receiving end of an absolute beating. Baechiv's infantry is evaporating alongside some Panthers being caught in the bombing run as well. Oh, oh Gott im Himmel! This is like Dresden on a small scale. Panthers survived, but most of Baechiv's infantry has pretty much ceased to exist. They've joined the choir invisible. They're ex-infantry. Meanwhile, DevM launching his own air support there. The Luftwaffe is showing that it too's got something to do here, but the Pershing goes down here to mixture of Kanonenvogel and the Panther. Leaving Herecomestheblob with only armor. Crossfire stuff not caught in another Comet, and even with that munitions, it's still floating a lot there. Definitely feel like Crossfire caught in more here, but still. 300 trolls of the British, the Allies are closing the gap between them and the Germans in terms of victory points. But Baechiv's just been absolutely spanked. It's calling in fights to make up the gaps here, and they're being caught. It's like Crete all over again. It's Dresden and Crete makes it into one mess here for Baechiv. Baechiv may in fact need some therapy after this battle. Anyways, up north here, secondary straight for the machine gun there, and Crossfire still hasn't researched any upgrades in the section. That is both a bit distressing and a bit impressive. It's distressingly impressive. Grand Northern Victory Point, fighting Northern Fuel Point, but there's an MD-40 there from DevM holding things up. I mean, DevM at this point is clearly the one holding together the entire war effort, because Baechiv is just being used to mop the floor at this point, almost, it feels like. Smoking up north there, pulling up with the section, and could of course use the cannon bomb, but there's still not a lot of munitions that are being used by Crossfire for the most part. Panther and 40 for Baechiv.
defending one of our capture points.
Sturmpanzer in the section there, landing a good hit. Panther going for the firing position there. 50 cal firing armor-piercing rounds in a...
The enemy has destroyed an emplacement.
I would describe that as a desperate effort to, like, you know, feel like it has some impact. Unsurprisingly, it made no impact at all. North they comment for going for the Sturmpanzer here. DevM has extended and we got the common rushing in there. Crossfire, there still floats an incredible amount of resources. Crossfire just already like at the end of his tether here, like just overextended, overstressed or something, because like he could easily have called another comment by now. I had 2 comments here. That would have been great for him. Instead, he's got no comments now. He's floating a lot of resources. DevM's also starting to float a lot of resources. Feels like that's a bit of an issue now. Here's calling a comment again, could have done so much sooner. Really should also consider calling some more troops, and you know, really should consider some upgrades for his sections. I mean, that is still a bit of an eye-opener in a strange way. Another van salty for Baechiv. Very consistent use of the ability, by the way. Again, really nice to see that. We got smoke here. We got lots of fighting makers for Baechiv, up to 3 fighting maker squads. Obviously, not much of a point in going for Volkskunde at this point. I think could also go for Obersoldaten, except that required the, you know, Schwerpanzer Corps being rebuilt. Fights with the raft squad up close, grenade off there, killing Wilhelm and Friedrich. Sniper there with 43 kills. Here comes the blob. Front goes straight for another Pershing. Feel like that's a bit inefficient, but Crossfire decided to spend some of the resources again more efficiently. Except not enough upgrades for the infantry. It was all down to 2 sections. Really should consider something there. And again, even just another Commando squad I think will go along with it for Crossfire.
It's time for action.
Section there. Centre being seized by the Gundisi. Northern point being seized there by Crossfire. Sneaking in with those Commandos. Quick gunman bomb here on the MG42. Again, the rest of the silenced end guns, which was actually semi-automatic, or at least set to be semi-automatic, because otherwise they just burn through the silencer itself, which was not really made for like full auto. So slight inaccuracy there, but obviously would be less exciting if it wasn't these unit bursts. But fun fact there. And that was end of the section. Comet moving in as well there. Flanking the Panther. Good shot there, down to half health. I'm not surprised if Baechiv now trying to stall him for the King Tiger. 300 is 332. Rangers there, half 8 to veteran fleet. 3 kills in the Stukas Fussis in the centre here. Sturmpanzer Norfolk here for DevM, got 19 kills, half 8 to veteran fleet. Coming forwards there for Crossfire. Shrink needs some repairs. So unfortunately got into tearing into them as well. Sappers route it. Packs into the Comet. Lieutenant going for the Panther with the bazooka, but they go met by the Fallschirmjägers with FT-42s. Route squadron got smoked in here. They're from Here Comes the Blob. Nice. Crossfire could go for another Comet again, but seems like Crossfire has a thing against more than 1 tank at a time.
Wireless intercept. They still have 300.
Which in terms of like tank methodology is typically like the opposite of what you want. You want as many tanks as possible. Is he setting up for like another air supremacy operation? I don't know, but there you go. Tiger tank out for DevM. Definitely putting DevM like the one with the most number of tanks here so far. Panther, Tiger, and of course a Sturmpanzer. Baechiv with just the Panther. The truck is heavily damaged. 299 versus 300. DevM's infantry is bleeding out brutally. Panthers there ready to support each other in case it's needed. Stubbs was that wipes the rifle school with a single rocket. That's actually kind of impressive. But I imagine not for Here Comes the Blob. Packing how much Sturmpanzer bombarding there.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Trying to keep those Tommies off the victory points. Crossfire again, still not calling in a second comment, but having ample resources for it. Definitely seems like a strange quirk, like not upgrading his sections. Pershing getting the Panther, got to turn on the flank with a bazooka. Pershing getting veterans once the punches another great big hole in the Panther's frontal armor. More Storm Pioneer for Baechiv. Battle Peticles up, there's again probably going to be King Tiger soon here. Five Amigas ready to unleash an ambush on the Rangers. Oh, they're getting spotted. They're exposed. The backs are exposed too, but there you go. They quickly turn around there. But they're losing out in close range to the Thompson. We do get a geballte Ladung. There we go. Crossfire seems to finally learned how to get more than one tank at a time, though sadly has not moved on to actually upgrading his infantry sections or calling in more infantry. Panther Tiger going forward here. DevM's on the assault on there. Go calling air support. Sturmpann coming far here for the attacking armor. They're a bit of insurmountability there. Panther heavily damaged. Here comes the blob, the run here on the flank with the Pershing and the lieutenant with the bazookas. Anti-tank crew, the exterminator gunneries moving in there. Commandos counter-attacking here. The situation is a bit messy here for both sides. Second comment on the way. The first one has been blown to bits again. And we got an air supremacy operation here. Crossfire daring to like just try and kill them all here with the British Air Force, the RAF. Can he manage? The Luftwaffe streaming in there. The bombers on the move. Can he catch it? I don't think so. Maybe he can. And the bombs there. Oh, they missed the mark. They missed the mark. They're wrong angle. The angle is incorrect. Oh dear, he was panicking. Had it been that way, that would have been the Sturmpanzer and the Panther. Instead, he mostly murdered squirrels. It was Dresden, but for squirrels instead of tanks. Common there going for the Tiger. But there's a Panther nearby and the other Panther there catching Crossfire's Comet in a deadly crossfire. Turning it into nothing but scrap metal.
The enemy have knocked out a Comet tank.
And there you go, with that, the Allies surrender. Their hope shattered. Their tanks on fire. And the infantry blast to bits. There you go, a wild 2v2 match here on Elst Outskirts. I don't cast a lot of them, but I do say good luck on this. I do want to cast them. So there you go. Hope you got this match and learned something from it. I mean, the main point of thing is Crossfire should have upgraded his sections and gone for more tanks when he could have. Definitely like Crossfire was definitely slinging a bit on the job there. Here comes about, I think, did fairly good work there. Had Crossfire been sharp, I think the Jet Alice would have been in a much stronger position here as the Germans. So there you go. Though, hope you got this match. I learned something from it. Hope it gives you ideas for your matches. If it did, subscribe, like, share, comment. Of course, do consider donating or pledging on Patreon. This is Imperial League. Cheers. Thank you for watching. You're all a wonderful audience. I'll see you all tomorrow again for another exciting episode. Bye.